I'm your host, Geet Gera, CEO and founder of AIS and Partners, where we help service based industries owners implement AI strategically without losing the human core of what makes their work powerful. Today's guest is someone very interesting. She's a registered nurse of 21 years, a certified holistic nurse coach, instructor, app builder, author of 80-page guides and 200-page workbooks, founder of two businesses, Inherently, Healthy Wellness Coaching and Angel Thoughts. And 3 weeks ago, she walked away from a full time management role to bet on herself full time. She did all of this solo while raising two kids, while working full time. And she built a journalism powered by AI before most wellness practitioners even know where to start. Samantha, welcome to the show.
Thank you so very much for welcoming me and having me here, Geet. It's a pleasure.
Samantha, let's go back to the beginning. Your coaching method didn't come from a textbook. It came from your own body. Tell us what happened there.
It definitely did. So as you said, I've been a nurse for over 21 years. A couple of years into my career, I was working the emergency room and my back went out. I started to experience chronic pain and I was going through all of the avenues, imaging, medications, and ultimately they told me nothing was wrong with me. My imaging was negative. All of my lab work was negative, but I was in pain and no one could tell me I was not. I wasn't able to complete full shifts. I was getting irritated with my kids. One provider told me my posture was the issue. It had taken up to 30 years to get it to that point and it was going to take a long time to fix and it would hurt. So I said, okay, this is what we're going to do because I couldn't remain on medications or unable to function as myself. I felt like my body had just given up on me and I wasn't ready for that yet. So I started to work on my posture. But working with my posture, I learned that posture is not the only problem. That's where the nervous system came in, thought loop, the mindset, the fascia. So as all of these things started to come within my body, feeling all of these connections, I started to find avenues to learn more. I knew that healthcare wasn't going to work for me anymore, and I wanted to pivot and not lose my nursing background. I love being a nurse. I love helping people. I love teaching. So I found nurse coaching, pivoted to that. And in becoming a stronger coach, in trying to find the language is where I really started finding everything that had been happening in my body for years. The language about fascia, the language about nervous system, the use of your mind and how it works so hard to protect you, even though it may not be benefiting you in the way it's doing. That's a little bit of how I got into coaching. It was my body forced it. My body needed to coach itself. And then I realized there was a lot of language out there that people do not have. And I wanted to share that.
As a nurse, someone trained in the acute care model, what was it realizing that the system you had dedicated 21 years to was missing that foundational piece?
That's a deep question because I'm realizing that I'm just dealing with the hurt of it. I was hurt. As I said, I was working with providers that I had worked at the bedside with for years that told me to keep taking medications to know which one worked the best. It was very difficult to accept that. But what I had to realize is why medicine began. The old models, old history, classic Chinese medicine, all of the original foundations, they included the body, but obviously not everything was healed. Not everything was fixed. And that's where medicine came in because there were acute things that needed a microscope to look at them. I'm not trying to completely disappear from healthcare. I want to bridge the whole body with that acute care because the acute care is necessary. It is never going to go away. I would never coach somebody and tell them, ignore your doctors. I want everything cleared medically so that we can say, is there something deeper, a different pattern that's running through your body that you're not aware of? Medicine is definitely necessary. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's just missing the gap of the human body and the human connection.
That tension between loving nursing and knowing it wasn't enough, that's what gave birth to Inherently Healthy. Walk us through what you actually built.
Inherently Healthy is a coaching company. I work with identity work. I started a framework called Inherence. And Inherence is basically inherently you. You have the information within, you have the knowledge within to heal self. Sometimes it's very hard to listen to that and to take action on it. But that's what the concept of inherence is. The concept of inherence is that within our posture, our minds, our bodies, we have the answers we're looking for. We have to trust them and listen to them and then take action on them. So I built Inherently Healthy.
Most people here, I built a business on the side and picture a Squarespace site and a booking link. You built an app on Bubble. You wrote 80 pages guide. You created a 200-page workbook. You launched like 2 separate businesses, all while managing an urgent care, raising 2 kids, and working on yourself through the very process you teach. What did that year actually look like?
That year was extremely busy. As I said, after I finished nurse coaching, I was trying to pivot, so I started the book. And the publishing company that I was working with was an AI publishing company, and that opened AI up for me because I was one of the original. I did not want to rely on AI. I did not want to use AI. I did not trust AI. I come from the era of stay away from the computers and don't put too much information. So when I was writing the book, I started to utilize AI, and it was like, wow, this is so much information, and it made everything so much faster. I could speak to chat and talk to it and tell it things going on, and it turned it out into work, into something viable. So I took another course to learn more about AI. And in that course, the gentleman said to the class, if you'd really like to know how well AI works, ask AI what it thinks of you. Sure, not a problem. So I went into chat and I was like, hey, chat, what do you think about my current trajectory and where I'm moving forward right now? And the response was amazing. The response turned chat into a mini mentor for me. It basically said, you're doing wonderful things. You have 3 businesses going on. You're building workbooks. You're a manager of an urgent care. You're mothering as a single mother. The only concern I have is that you do not burn out trying to do it all. Wow. I was like, you never see all the things you are doing. When
Yes.
you are moving and you're making things happen, I've been very bad at taking appreciation for my own efforts. So to have something unbiased acknowledge that for me, that meant a lot to me. And well, then how do I move forward without burning out? And it provided little ways to let's schedule this for this day and let's focus on what needs to be focused on. So that pivot right there turned chat into an ally for me. And at that moment, I continued talking and continued bringing my issues to chat because it was a good place for me to brain dump, to rant. And it brought me back concrete information. It organized everything I said to make sense. And that's how I got my workbooks done. That's how I built an app. I won't lie, the hallucinations are real. They are, especially when it comes through step-by-step instructions. So building the app was the hardest thing, but it's done. It's accomplished. It's a journaling app that allows you to either journal and just keep your journal entry for yourself. You can download it via Google. It'll create a folder for you in your Google, a personal folder with just your journal entries. The second piece of that journaling app is a chat response that is trained on my mindset, my coaching, my responses, and you can journal and get a response via chat that will help to ground or just help to put things back into perspective for you. So the last year of building for me has been amazing because it's been idea to creation. I have 3 workbooks, each of them about 200 pages or more, and 7 challenges right now that are pushing at 80 pages, and all information based off of my framework, based off of Inherence, based off of all of the different patterns that people are seeing, because it's not just nervous system. It's how are we sleeping, eating, moving. Movement is extremely important in it. The body releases when the mind releases when the body releases. So it's a loop that people usually try to work one angle of it. And my framework combines all the angles because none of this is random.
You have basically taken your entire method, the mind, body, nervous system, thought loop, and made it accessible through technology. For someone who was skeptical of AI, I mean, or computers, I would say here, you've gone further than most practitioners, twice your experience in tech. What would you say to wellness coach or practitioner who is still afraid of it?
Embrace AI. It's not going to go away. We can start there. Trying to use it to its minimal, I can understand that, but it can open up so many avenues for you. And it does not replace human connection. And I know that's the fear of everybody. Even within my app, AI, chat all of the time tells me, call a friend, call to speak to somebody. So even chat knows it's not replacing human connection. But the amount of efficiency it can bring into your business is amazing. The amount of answers that it can provide for you on just brainstorming. I think most people scared of is that chat is giving information. And I'm not using chat to give me information. I am using it to organize my own information. If you have anything that you want to be brought to life, chat or any of the AI large language models can just provide you that quick push. It amplifies your voice. There's a lot of people that don't have structured language or the structured terms or for whatever reasons, introverts. So AI provides that language and that foundation for you to move from.
Had you not had help with AI, it would have taken you how
Years.
much amount of time?
You
Years, right?
can't imagine. The first workbook I did alone probably would have taken me 2 years to create.
So 2 years to how many days we are talking about?
I was done in 2 months.
2 months, 24 months to 2 months.
Yes.
That's the power.
Amazing.
If you use it in the right manner.
Extremely powerful. I have no desire to allow AI to take my voice or anybody else's voice. It amplifies your voice.
You also mentioned, Samantha, that you are building your 16-year-old daughter into entrepreneurship because the world isn't moving towards degree anymore. And yet you spent 21 years in one of the most credentialed profession there is. What has the identity shift been like from nurse to manager to founder?
It's been amazing. It's been scary because we are raised in a world to believe that the correct route is a check. You get comfortable there knowing that no matter what, you're going to get a check at the end of every 2 weeks or the end of every month. This transition has been very difficult to rely on self, to trust self, and then also to have the discipline. Because as an entrepreneur, you don't have protocols, policies, you don't have anyone telling you what needs to be done when. So it is all on you to wake up every morning and to find that routine and that rhythm and to take care of self. That's what I'm in right now. As you said, I just stepped down 3 weeks ago and I've been on hustle mode. But my next tweak is taking care of self a little bit more. Eat breakfast before I get on the computer and start doing my work. It's so much fun. It's such a lesson. I hear it a lot that everyone says they wish they would have done it sooner. I don't wish I would have done it sooner. I know that I did it at the time that it was necessary. I truly believe that things happen when they are meant to happen and you take the steps when you're ready to. So I'm embracing this and I'm loving every step of it.
So at what point did you look at everything you had created and think, okay, I'm going to go full time now?
Honestly, after the second workbook was done, when the second workbook was done, I realized that I had my entire framework together to really bring to people. I had a foundation to give. So that's when I really decided that it was time to pivot. But I was in a position that it took a couple of months. I didn't want to just leave. So I stayed on for a while to help with that transition.
Good. 3 weeks in, right? And how does it feel?
It feels really good. Still really scary. Still every day I question what I'm doing. Every day I'm like, wait, should I go back full time? But there comes a point where you can't turn back, where you have to keep trying. The generations coming up are going to have to know how to use AI, how to determine reality from AI. That's going to be a big thing. And then the regulation. We've gotten to a world where it's really common to be aware. And I feel like we've gotten to a point where we're using it a little bit more of an excuse, more as accountability to make change or to do different. And that's what I'm trying to teach my daughter right now. You have to take action for what you want and you have to move with the world.
Here is what I really want to ask, because I think this is where your coaching and your personal story completely converge. The people who come to you are overwhelmed, burned out, disconnected from themselves. That's also a story of someone who has been everything to everyone for 21 years and finally said enough. Is Samantha Gunther also a client of Samantha Gunther's method?
I am absolutely a client of Samantha Gunther's method, and I use my method every single day. Actually, Sunday was a huge spiral day for me. Every day is come back to self. Remember why you're doing it. Trust yourself and have that safety in the body. So yes, this is not a method that I'm just throwing out of the wind. This is something that gets me by on a daily basis.
Something coming very interesting to me, Samantha, listening to you, and I don't usually talk about it, but I have spent 24 years as a program manager in global enterprise technology, India, Australia, and US, implementing large-scale systems for some of the biggest financial institutions in the world. And one day I looked up and realized I had spent my entire career making other people's businesses run better. So I built AIS and partners to do that for myself and for business owners like you who are doing extraordinary work, but running on manual everything. Your story is exactly why I do this.
Thank you so very much. And I appreciate your story. I do. Thank you. There are a lot of different types of burnout, as you mentioned. People always think the burnout of just doing too much, but there's actually, like you said, the burnout of spending 20 years doing for everybody else and never doing for yourself, or the burnout of not being stimulated enough or overstimulated. The environments, we don't acknowledge all of them. It always becomes either you're lazy or you want too much, and that's not always the case. And listening to ourselves, that becomes the harder part. Listening, trusting, and taking that leap. So much respect for you for doing that also.
So, Samantha, before I let you go, for the people listening right now who is where you were a year ago, building in the background, exhausted, wondering if it's worth it, what do you want them to hear?
It is worth it. Firstly, keep going. Secondly, remain aligned to your purpose. Know your values. And as long as you continue to work through your values, every choice gets a little bit easier. Because if it's not a choice that you value, then you don't have to make it. Take rest, take time for yourself, appreciate yourself, and thank yourself for all of the effort you're putting in, because you're putting in a lot. Acknowledge that, because you deserve to. And just keep going.
Yeah, keep going. I think that's we all need to do. No matter what, but you have to keep going.
Always have to take action, no matter how unsure you are. Take the next aligned action.
And where can people find you, work with you, or get into your world?
I do have an Instagram account, Inherently Healthy WC. I have a LinkedIn account, which is my name, Samantha Gunther, also Inherently Healthy. And then my website is at inherentlyhealthy.com. So that is directly to work with me. And all of my resources can be found at shop.angelthoughtsconnect.com.
And the journaling app, is that live and available right now?
The journaling app is live and available. You have 24-hour free access, and then I'm doing a 3-month beta access right now, just because I'm still tweaking and looking for opinions and information. You can find it on the shop.angelthoughtsconnect.com, or directly it is app.angelthoughtsconnect.com.
And you've been getting feedback from people for that?
Yes, a lot of people are really enjoying it. They like the unbiased thought loops. They like being able to dump and get some kind of information or a little bit of feedback. I will let you know, the app is not to glorify you. That's not what my app is doing. I am not trying to validate. I'm trying to bring awareness. So a lot of the people that have worked with it appreciate that, because it's not just making you sound right.
Yeah, it's honest opinion, basically.
Yes.
Samantha, thank you, not just for your time today, but for being honest about the hard parts. That's what this show is built for.
I appreciate it. The hard parts, they're necessary. That's what life is about. Life is a journey. And getting through those hard parts the day after, it's beautiful.
And for everyone else listening, if you know someone who is building something quietly and hasn't told anyone yet, send them this episode. They need it. I'm Geet. Until next time.